With the big telephone company, for caller ID, call blocking, call forwarding, call waiting, and three-way calling, you can end up paying almost $50 a month for all that. But with Rev Voice, you get all those features for free.
Two police officers charged with manslaughter. 7 injured after the Bahamas fast ferry takes on water. The FNM's deputy says it's unacceptable that Power Secure has no business plan. Plus, a new competition aims to give young musicians a chance at fame. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, exactly 3 years after 20-year-old Aaron Roll was found unresponsive in a police cell, 2 members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force were today charged with manslaughter in relation to his killing. Despite his death being ruled unlawful in 2013, the 2 officers at the center of the matter were allowed to remain on the job. Today, the officers were brought handcuffed into the magistrate's court as suspects. Kyle Joaquin reports.
It's been 3 years since Aaron Roll was found dead in a police cell, and over that 3-year span there have been calls for help from his family and even a coroner's inquest. But today, 2 officers found themselves charged with manslaughter. 28-year-old police constable 2126 Akil Smith of South Beach in the gray suit and 34-year-old constable 2648 Carl Smith of Pinewood Gardens in the blue shirt and khaki pants today found themselves standing before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt, charged with manslaughter, exactly 3 years from the day Roll was found dead in a southern police cell. He died hours after being arrested. A pathologist report had concluded that he died from hemorrhaging and a ruptured intestine caused by blunt force trauma to the abdomen. He also had a 0.4 centimeter laceration about the width of a pen in his small intestine, which caused liters of intestinal fluid to leak into his stomach. He was 20 years old and was the second man to die in police custody within less than 24 hours that weekend. Roll was being held in connection to housebreaking. 4 months after his death, a coroner's court inquest had found his death to be an unlawful killing. But after an appeal and years of waiting, the 2 officers had their day in court. With the courtroom full of family, friends, and fellow officers, the 2 men appeared emotionless. They weren't required to enter a plea, but before the magistrate got to mention remand, their attorney, Wayne Monroe, stood up and began pleading their case for bail. He mentioned that the men haven't gone anywhere for the 3 years the matter was being investigated and that both of them are serving police officers. When asked if there was any objection to bail, the prosecutor, Officer Clifford Daxon, said no. And in seeing that, Magistrate Ferguson Pratt granted the men $10,000 bail. Over the past 3 years, we've seen the Aaron Roll custody death capture headline news and then go quiet, only regaining the spotlight when his family members seek the media's help in calling for justice. Back in 2013, during the coroner's inquest, the 2 officers claimed they only used necessary force to stop Roll from jumping out of a window at the station and escaping custody. They maintained that they did not cause life-threatening injuries. Again, those officers returned to court on March 23rd, where they will be served with a voluntary bill of indictment. Reporting from the Magistrate's Court for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
7 people were taken to hospital with injuries after the Bahamas Ferry's boat they were riding in took on water after it was struck by a rogue wave. In a video circulating on social media purporting to show the incident, the Bahamas vessel appears damaged with broken windows, water on the floors, and seating knocked askew. One passenger, who identified herself as Cheryl Lang, sent out a message asking for prayer, explaining passengers had been injured. According to a statement released by Bahamas Ferries, the Bahamas was struck by a rogue wave while on a regularly scheduled service between Harper Island to Spanish Wells shortly before 4 p.m. The wave struck the bow of the vessel, compromising 2 of the forward-facing windows of the lower passenger cabin. The impact of the wave forced water into the cabin where passengers were located. Water intrusion was confined to the ship's deck and the main passenger cabin. As a result of the incident, the statement said 7 passengers experienced injuries and were taken to Doctors Hospital where they were treated. Bahamas Ferry's sales and marketing manager Darnell Frazier said in the statement, "We are proud of our dedicated captain and crew that safely brought our passengers to port following an unexpected event. We greatly appreciate our customers' understanding as we manage to work through this incident. Our primary focus as a company remains on the maintenance of a high level of service with passenger safety as a priority." The Bohongi is currently docked at Potter's Key. In other news, Free National Movement Deputy Leader Peter Turnquist said it is unacceptable that PowerSecure does not yet have a specific business plan for the way forward at Bahamas Power and Light, formerly known as the Bahamas Electricity Corporation, despite government paying them nearly $1 million to provide one. Turnquist today also questioned what exactly is PowerSecure bringing to the table, charging that their initial assessments of what's needed at the nation's power plant isn't anything we don't already know.
The Bahamian people have paid $900,000 to PowerSecure for a business plan. And it appears to, at this point, not to have resulted in anything tangible or sustainable that we can hang our hats on to say the way forward for BEC, Bahamas Power and Light. It seems to me that the whole concept was ill-conceived, and the result is certainly unacceptable in my mind in terms of the proper use of public funds.
PowerSecure's Utility Infrastructure President Ronnie Brannan admitted yesterday the firm has only submitted a 90-day draft plan for the way forward at the troubled state-owned power provider. He said as much as the company signed a 5-year management services agreement to run Bahamas Power and Light. He also indicated since signing a transitional agreement more than 6 months ago, PowerSecure has discovered numerous challenges within the existing system, including aging infrastructure, high operating costs, expensive and inefficient fuel, and organizational efficiencies, among other things. But Turnquist questioned what exactly is PowerSecure bringing to the table.
Initial suggestions that have been put forward by PowerSecure are also disappointing. And there's nothing that they've proposed thus far that we can tell that is novel or innovative. We've known for years that the generation plant needed to be upgraded. We've known for years that we had a problem with fuel sourcing, the pricing of fuel and the mix of the fuel. We've known for years that our transmission and distribution needs upgrade. We've known for years that the use of alternative sources of energy, solar in particular, is something that the BEC, the government, as the shareholder, ought to be looking at in respect to particularly the Family Islands. So they've brought nothing to the table thus far that we did not already anticipate.
Government signed a transitional agreement with PowerSecure back in July. PowerSecure was expected to gather key data, evaluate the corporation's finances, power generation, and reliability issues. It was also expected to complete its business plan within 60 days and present it to Cabinet. The agreement cost $900,000, while the management services agreement is worth as much as $25 million. Turnquist said he hopes all the documents are tabled in Parliament.
I'm hopeful that tomorrow, when we go to Parliament, that one of the things that the Minister of Works and Urban Development, who's responsible for Bahamas Power and Light now, will table is this agreement, so that we can all have an appreciation for exactly how this agreement is supposed to work.
Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis said he is very grateful that former FNM MP Tennyson Wells has publicly supported him. This comes after Wells said he believes Minnis is gaining traction in the country daily and suggested that FNMs who have a problem with Minnis's leadership should face reality. Minnis said Wells isn't the only one who backs him, and for that, he's grateful. Simone Davis reports.
Dr. Minnis says he believes one of the main reasons senior politicians like Tennyson Wells supports his leadership is because there are too many things that the PLP failed at that could only be corrected by the FNM under Minnis's leadership.
I'm happy, elated that support is coming, especially from senior, respectable, professional individuals like Tennyson Wells and others. And I think the bottom line is we all want the same result. We want the same thing. And we all want a change. We want the PLP out so we can see a rise of the Bahamian economy, employment, quality of life.
After he weighed in on the controversial comments made by Senator Lanisha Roll last month, Wells said those FNMs who do not have confidence in their leader needs to put aside their egos, as Minnis is the constitutionally elected leader and the party should support him. Wells also said he believes Minnis is the right person to lead the FNM to a victory in the next general election. Minnis said he agrees with Wells while pointing out that the country has only gone haywire since the Christie administration took office in 2012. And a lot of work needs to be done to get the country back on track.
Since they've taken over, crime has gone up, unemployment has gone up, quality of life has deteriorated. The only thing I can say that has really, cost of living has gone sky high. People continue to lose homes. The economy has just gone haywire since the country has gone haywire since the PLP came in, and I think people have suffered enough. I don't think they realize the pain and suffering that's going on.
During an interview with a popular radio talk show host yesterday, Minnis was asked if it would be better if newspaper headlines read "Papa backs Minnis," in reference to former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham, who gave Minnis his blessing for leader when he retired in 2012. Minnis said it would be better. Last week, Ingraham told the Nassau Guardian that he still supports Minnis as the democratically elected leader of the FNM, but expressed concerns about the current state of the party. Minnis said he is now focused on handling the matters of the party internally as he's preparing his party to be better leaders of the country than the Christie administration, which he called flawed.
And I think everybody ready for a change. What was done yesterday, we want to move on. And politics is all about the future. It's about planning the future, planning a better life. Should always be better for another generation, not the same. And Christie has demonstrated himself to be, to me, a caretaker government, caretaker leader, meaning he takes care of what is given to him. And the only thing that's happening, he can't even take care of that because it's continuing to slide. So we don't need caretakers anymore. We need visionaries to take us to another level.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
You're watching the best in Bahamian news. There's more when NB12 returns.